Was a quiet weekend at the box office, though there's some funny stories to go over, like Madam Web's box office, which is hilarious. The biggest thing that came out this weekend was Demon Slayer. So this isn't an actual movie. What they do with this is take the first 3 episodes of the new season, and I think they combine them with the last 2 of the previous season. And they just kind of put together this little movie. You're basically paying for a preview of the new season, which is fine. If I could have had a theater to go see this in, because there wasn't one around me with a reasonable driving distance, I probably would have went and watched it just because it's cool to watch this stuff on giant screens. But here's the thing with this that annoys me every time one of these anime movies or Godzilla or something comes from Japan over here. They give it these limited releases and barely any promotion. I completely forgot this was coming out to the theaters, and I follow this stuff. I would have maybe went and saw it. The closest theater was an hour and a half, which is ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's stupid. Why is that? So it got a limited release. To go over to Box Office Pro to find it, and was it over here? Maybe it's over. I think it's down here. There it is. Almost 2,000 theaters. That's it. That's it. Now you'll notice Bob Marley has 3,597 theaters. What's with that? 4,000 theaters for Madam Web is still playing in 4,000 theaters. Are you kidding me? What a joke that is. So instead of taking that out and putting Demon Slayer in those theaters, some of these locations decided to keep Madam Web running. What a joke. You know how much money Madam Web made domestically? At least right here, according to Box Office Pro for Sunday, $1,495 for Sunday. I think Fridays was 1,000 something. That's embarrassing. Nobody wouldn't watch that. But hey, Demon Slayer, we can barely put that in the theaters. Look, that made $6,000. How much more money could that have made domestically if it was in every single theater? Why do these movies get little rollouts? Because every time you look at the theater listings for these, they're packed. They're packed. Tons of people drive to go see them. I don't know if maybe that's the only reason why these are getting packed, because they're small location. I highly doubt that, because the mainstream appeal of products like this are a lot bigger than people think. Anime is dominating. So, yeah, 16.9 million total is what that movie brought in for the weekend, I think, estimated wise. And it could have been higher than that. It could have been higher than that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at To the Swordsmith. Is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, up here is Mugen Train, which was an actual movie. Look at how much money that movie made. Like $22 million. Doesn't look like a lot, but, I mean, when you consider the fact that that's just icing on the cake to, what it made in Japan for them, that's a lot of money. That could have made more money as well, because that also got a limited release, and Demon Slayer is big. That's a huge property right now. So it's just weird to me that these always get small releases when you could make these bigger. You don't promote them. I had no idea this was coming out this weekend. I completely forgot. I didn't see any advertisements. I didn't see any press. Nobody was talking about it, and that's on them. This is what they do every time. I don't understand why they're such idiots when it comes to the American market, because there's a huge appetite for this stuff, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger as time goes on. But hey, plenty of options for Madam Web, a movie that nobody went and watched. Bob Marley kind of fell off a cliff. Bob Marley was barely beating Demon Slayer. It barely beat it. What was the weekend total for Bob Marley? was $13 million. Oh, well, 13.5, right? Demon Slayer made 11.5. But Demon Slayer did that with half the theaters, just about. Imagine if it had been in 3,597 locations. I wonder what that number would have really been. It's crazy to me. Madam Web, barely making any money. $6 million total for the weekend. That's pathetic. That is pathetic. But hey, still in 4,000 locations. What a great deal. Just wild to me. They're literally throwing money away. I don't get it. It's wild. Look at some of these comments. When a cartoon does better than all the other movies, you know Hollywood is done. The stories are better. Everything in this is better than anything else in the theater right now. Except, well, I don't want to give Bob. I actually like movies like this Bob Marley movie. It's just not something I want to go see in the theaters. I don't think I've seen any of these movies in the theaters, actually. I usually just watch them when they come out. Because there's a lot of good movies like this. The Queen movie was really good. There's Doors, the Johnny Cash movie. I like movies like this, so I'm definitely going to check it out, but just don't want to go to the theater to watch it. Don't really want to go to the theater anymore for much. Like Dune 2 is going to be the first time I went to the theater in a minute. Since Godzilla -1, that's the last movie I saw in theaters. Yeah, I'll definitely go and see this eventually, but I'll wait for it to come out. So, yeah, this is the weekend update. And what's funny is it's really being downplayed in a lot of these outlets, like Deadline barely even really mentions it. Almost like they don't want you to know that Bob Marley almost got beat by Demon Slayer. And they downplay it. They don't ever mention the fact that like it's barely in any theaters. I think it got like a cliff note. Yeah, right here at the bottom, they talk about Crunchyroll Sony's Demon Slayer release. It's like way down here at the bottom. Barely mentioned in the article. You could have seen this in IMAX. Oh, why? Why couldn't I have gone and seen this on IMAX? I would have loved to have watched this in an IMAX. Okay, maybe. Oh, okay, they're talking about the Mugen Train thing, I think. Or IMAX Global is $4 million. Either way, why couldn't I see this in IMAX? I would have drove to a theater to watch this. And there's a theater I could go see this in a reasonable drive, and I would have, just to see something like Demon Slayer in an IMAX. Because a lot of this stuff is made for IMAX over in Japan, and it could take an IMAX theater over here over, but they never release it. It's just wild to me how much they dropped the ball on this, leaving money off the table. They're leaving money on the table when they don't put these out in bigger releases and premium theaters, because people will pay for it. Thank God you could still have seen Madam Web in IMAX, though. Whew. Man, glad that option was there. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about this anime takeover? It's really starting to be a thing. And it seems like almost like they're purposely ignoring it in Hollywood. Like they want to take these properties. They want to make live action versions of them. They don't want to embrace the source at all. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.